Bring that shit with you to work.
Need to get
You have one for your first one? Where's your first one? Oh. You got it next to
the
you?
immediate difference. Hey.
Yeah, we'll have to get you a protector. Maybe we'll do that this week.
I can't do that yet.
Means a lot.
Does it? An ice cream machine, I guess.
Myself.
Nerd out. Nerd out with your cock out. Have your whole setup. These bitches have 1K.
I'm still recharging. That smells brilliant. Still recharging. That spell is ready.
Who'd you text? You wanted what? See what you got? Well, y'all told him that I had something special planned for you?
Oh, if you have a micro SD express memory card
I can't pass that card.
Yeah,
That spell is
My shaman is strong.
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
About to level up. 31, bitch. Figure I'll let you play it for like an hour or two and then we can go to Dixie Crossroads. I think they close at 9, so I want to be there by like 7. Yeah, around 7-ish. So, 7, 8 o'clock at the latest.
charging. That spell isn't ready yet. It's too far away.
Really? So you can't do anything without that? What do you mean?
is if you have a micro SD express memory card, insert it. Only micro SD express cards with the mark don't have an image or supported other SD cards won't work.
You have to have that.
Is micro SD express card.
You're telling me you can't play that thing at all because it didn't come.
You can use an inserted micro SD express card to store data for downloadable software, screenshots, and snippets.
Is there anything in the box that you need to put in? That's so dumb if that is the case.
At Athlog tired of streaming to 0? Let's change that only at nesna.com at frwp.
Big Wind Fury. Damn it, I did not mean to click this again. No, it's gonna freak the fuck out. Why is this even on my shit? I'm pinned from taskbar. Go away.
You know your business better than anyone, right? So why not build an app to run it with Base 44? This fine.
Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Greetings everyone, my name is Meldron and welcome to another Classic WoW.live guide. I am very proud to present the Advanced Shaman Leveling Guide. In this guide we will go over all the things you'll need to know to level your Shaman efficiently in Classic WoW. We'll go over things like talents, builds, leveling speed, economy while leveling, rotations, totem loadouts, totem priority, stat priority, both world and dungeon group leveling, and more. I also like to take this time to announce that we over at ClassicWoW.live have a free interactive leveling guide for both factions, all classes, and even supports group content. After viewing this and getting your general idea of how you want to level your shaman, head over to ClassicWoW.live and use our free tool. As with all of my guides, timestamps will be available in the pinned comment below, and slides will be available via Google Slides. Links will be in the description. Let's get started. I like to think about class fantasy when I think about leveling, and there are three basic archetypes for shaman levelers. The first is the elder shaman, someone who's wise, understands the elements and nature itself, and these are more of the elemental shamans. They're more learned and have more wisdom. However, a lot of people like to go the warrior shaman route. This is the two-handed enhancement shaman with a big two-hander, axe or a mace, maybe even a stave, and you're going to be using big hits either with Rockbite or Wind Fury to bring your enemies down. And finally, we have the guardian shaman. These are a shaman that use a shield to increase their armor and reduce the damage they take, and could even be shaman tanks in dungeons or something like that. When you're thinking about your shaman, I think it's very important to think about which archetype speaks best to you. Now, realistically, I understand most people just want to get to 60 fast, and I totally get that, and I provide data to help those people out as well. But I want to try to make a general guide for anyone, depending on which aspect you're interested in the leveling process. Class fantasy, speed, PvP prowess, economy, anything you can think of. So we're going to cover all those bases. And since we have three general archetypes, we have three basic shaman leveling paths. We have the elemental, the two-handed enhancement, and the one-hander plus shield enhancement. So we're going to be talking about these different paths a lot during the presentation. Blue is going to be elemental, green is going to be two-handed enhancement, and red will be the guardian shaman one-handed plus shield enhancement. And we see these.
I'm trying to switch over my stuff from one switch to the other. It's a little complicated.
What do you need? What do you need?
I don't know. She said your name.
Oh, I thought you needed me. What's up?
I wanted to show you the mattress that came out of that box. Get your opinion on it. I think it's more comfortable than the one I had on.
Hold on. I can't pause my video game.
Well, don't worry about it. I just didn't know you were in the middle of a game.
Yeah, figured out. Do we need to go buy extra bullshit?
Yeah.
We do? For what? I don't understand. What's the problem?
This only takes micro express SD cards.
Is it? So it sounds like a fucking scam, a way for them to get more money from you. It sounds like. Thing was already expensive as it is. So, how much? No, how much is it? Do you have to have it in order to play? Anything?
Have the save download stuff on it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I need to get this shit downloaded for anything.
Alright, well, keep playing with it and let me know, because that's a little fucking annoying. I'll be like, yo, what kind of product y'all be selling here? Like, oh.
Are three different routes, three independent routes. But in reality, during the leveling process, you may switch back and forth depending on gear availability or general speed and effectiveness of each build or talent specialization. And the two-handed, one-handed enhancement are pretty interchangeable. You can keep a shield one-hander in your inventory, and I actually recommend doing that for a couple of reasons, and we'll get into why. But you can freely move about that space simply. However, elemental will require a respec. You may consider a respec depending on how you're feeling or the data that I'm about to show you. In short, this guide's goal is to determine the path of least resistance to 60 for you, depending on what you hold important. And riffing off that, we can consider what the word optimal really means. Optimal means different things to different people.
This thing as well.
Huh?
These can be used for this as well. Joy-Cons?
They can fit?
No, but if they're make it wireless, if I were to use that one, that controller setup right there,
Uh-huh.
I can use it for that one.
Uh-huh. Goodbye, world. Oh.
It is not until faced with unforeseen adversity that we begin to see how strong our spirits are. You took the leap of faith, even though you had no guarantees that you would survive. Your mind is open, and your spirit is prepared for what is to come. If you are willing, then the next of your tests is ready. I'm pleased to see your courage remain steadfast in light of what you've already done. Since your faith is intact, the time has come to test your body. First is a test of endurance. Go with friends to the Rogue Feather Den west of Free Wind.
And we can discuss optimal in basically 4 different terms: speed, economy or cost, group potential, and PvP. And we have 2 different pie charts here. The top pie chart holds speed at a very high value, and because of that, holds more of the pie chart's available space. And in the second example, we have someone who really values economy over speed. Again, the data I'm about to provide you will show you the most optimal route for you depending on what your pie chart looks like. Before we get into the results, I'd like to go over the methodology of how I tested this. So I tested each Shaman path, the 3 we talked about in the beginning, using the following metrics. Overall speed or time to kill, 10 units. I also recorded DPS and drink consumption. And I did this at 5 level intervals from level 5 to 59. 5, 10, 15, 20, so on and so forth. The reason I stopped at 59 is because most Shaman will respec at 60, so I didn't really see the point in testing at 60. Now I used what I learned from the Classic WoW beta to create a more accurate testing environment. I used uncommon green base stat gear only. I did not use any spell power or any blue gear. I wanted to try to make this as comparable as possible. For enhancement, I used the stat priority of agility over pretty much everything else, and then armor, stamina, and strength, and we'll get into why later. Elemental, I used intellect over stamina and armor, which were held at equal weights. The race I used was Tauren because they have no direct offensive racials, and I did not use War Stomp. And the weapon imbue I used was Rockbiter weapon. The reason is because I already tested weapon DPS across weapon speeds in the Classic WoW beta, and Rockbiter had the highest average DPS and also the highest consistency, so I used that across the board no matter what build I used. And you may think, well, why didn't you use Flame Tongue or Frostbrand with Elemental? Because I didn't use any bonus spell power. If you want to learn more about what I've learned in the Classic WoW beta, not only with weapon imbues, with a lot of different things, check out my Advanced Shaman Guide Part 2. Link will be in the description below. This results in a total of 180 independent tests. I did 5 replicates for each test. And if you want to look at this data on your own, I will provide a link to the data sheet in the description below, so you can look at the data, what I used, the gear I used, talent specializations, all those things will be in the spreadsheet. So I will not go over all of my testing parameters because that's already available publicly on the spreadsheet. So with that, let's look at the results. The first thing we're going to do is time to level in hours. This is basically a very simple calculation. I took all the replicate times of my time to kill 10 and extrapolated out to level using the total XP requirements to level. And you'll see this recurring theme. Red is one-hander plus shield, green is two-hander, and blue is elemental. Now this is leveling speed. So the lower you are on this chart, so the lower your time, the more quickly you're going to level. As you can see, elemental is pretty slow starting off. It's actually the slowest, but around level 40 it starts to pick up, and this has been corroborated on private servers. This is a very common thing you'll see, is that elemental, as soon as you get a lot of your talents, it really speeds up, and I saw that in my results. And once you get elemental mastery and you have all that crit and you have a lot of intellect, you can really burn some people down pretty quickly. This comes at a cost, and we'll talk about that in a second, but just know from this data, elemental is not fast at all, but it becomes the fastest build and the fastest leveling path around level 40 to 45.
I'm in the process of doing all the betting stuff, so I told Eric to give me all for guys.
Cool. You.
That was his outfit.
5. Two-handed enhancement's pretty average, and one-handed plus shield really starts to slow down after level 40. And I think this is primarily due to Storm Strike. Storm Strike's effectiveness is higher the slower the weapon speed is, because the higher the top end, the more impactful a hit is. You know, if you miss an attack with the two-hander, and I know all you guys can feel like, oh man, I missed that attack, that's a huge waste of time. And conversely, an extra attack with a fast weapon is just not as impactful. So Storm Strike is a much more impactful talent when you're using a two-hander, and this data actually corroborates that and shows this. Now this is the same data, but I transformed it in a way that's probably a little more appealing to most people. Now the higher you are on this chart, the faster you are. So I took the inverse of the average leveling time and multiplied it by the total XP to level to make it more digestible. So as you can see here, it's actually on finer scale. You can actually see things a little bit clearer. Two-hander enhancement is the fastest up until around level 40, and it stays pretty fast around level 45, but around level 45, elemental takes over. So this is the same data, just a different way of looking at it. On the right hand side are the actual raw values if you want to look at them. This is called speed score, something I just made up to show you this data. So either way you look at it, elemental takes over around level 40 to 45. Two-hander is the fastest up until around that point and still remains pretty high though. And then one-hander plus shield really drops off around level 35 to 40 and becomes the slowest way to level. However, speed is not everything, ladies and gentlemen. We can also consider being optimal in terms of not spending gold to drink, to buy water, right? No surprise here, the fastest way to level is also the most expensive. Elemental, you're going to be stacking intellect, of course, but you're still going to run out of mana if you're constantly fighting and you're gonna have to drink more than the other builds. About 50% more than two-hander enhancement at the end, and double of one-hander plus shield. So even though one-hander plus shield is slow, it is the most economical way to level. If buying water pisses you off, it does bother me too as well, one-hander plus shield is the way to go. But there's also somewhere in the middle there. Two-hander enhancement, still pretty fast, and way more cost-effective than elemental. So this is just another thing to look at. Again, what's more optimal to you? Finally, we can look at one more term. We're looking at DPS of each spec or build. On the y-axis is DPS, and on the x-axis level, around level 30. Even though Elemental is not the most efficient speed-wise, it still is producing a lot more DPS than two-handed enhancement. And it's interesting because Elemental has to produce a lot more DPS because you're sitting down for longer periods of time drinking. You have so much intellect that you need to go through the full beverage duration to get your full mana back, and sometimes not even your full.
There's no medal for running yourself into the ground. Progress comes from knowing when to push and when to pull back. Because peak performance starts with prioritizing rest. Recover smarter.
Full mana back, whereas the enhancement builds can sit down and drink, but get up a lot quicker. Add that to the fact you're drinking more often anyway with Elemental, and it has to produce that much DPS to be the fastest. So it has a lot of burst potential, perhaps even more than Wind Fury. Can rival Wind Fury in that circumstance. Once you have Elemental Mastery and you have that high crit percentage from your talents, you can really blow mobs up pretty quickly. So it's interesting to see that DPS actually increases significantly in Elemental before it becomes the most efficient speed-wise. So just something to keep in mind, but of course we should see that the highest DPS will be Elemental if it's also the fastest. From these results, we can derive 3 stereotypes, if you will, for each of these different builds or specs. So I like to call the one-hander plus shield Old Faithful. This is the low upkeep. It's like that old pickup truck, just keeps on running. Just put oil in it every once in a while and it keeps going. Consistent DPS, not the highest, but consistent. It's pretty quick leveling from 1 to 40, comparable to two-handed enhancement, and it has low to mid PvP potential. Now, usually you want to use a two-hander for PvP situations, throw on Wind Fury and just pray and hopefully just one-hit someone. But when you're fighting classes like warriors, feral druids, and rogues, having a shield can be pretty beneficial, especially against rogues and feral druids. So you may want to consider throwing on a shield sometimes if you're getting attacked, depending on the class. Now let's move to the jack of all trades. But Master of None, the two-handed enhancement build, has a medium upkeep, drinks a little bit more than its one-handed relative, has quick leveling from 1 to 60, pretty good, average between these 3 specs, but pretty fast in its own rights, and high PvP potential because of Wind Fury. This is going to be pretty good in open world scenarios against most classes, and is a solid choice all around. And then we have the Late Bloomer. This is the spec that didn't get invited to prom, but now is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company and is high levels. This Elemental build is able to really produce a lot of burst DPS at the cost of very high upkeep.
What? Figuring it all out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you already got your gay game on there?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay.
So what's the main difference? It's just controls are all the same. It's just bigger screen, better graphics, faster speeds. One's better.
Shopping bag time.
You gonna nerd out tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Need to get
Are we playing the new Mario Kart together?
what I'm doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
You wanna do that later, or you wanna do that? Oh yeah, we gotta beat that shit. Is it Mario Kart 9? Like, what is it?
I sense a
It says
strange
Mario Kart
energy emanating from the hoof. I have no
World
doubt
Bundle.
that we will discover surprising new information about the centaur from its study. My thanks, adventurer. Now I must begin to decipher the mysteries you have brought to me.
Walk with the earth, mother.
As the wind on the plains, you are always welcome here.
How?
and thunder. Down.
What'd your family say about what I got you? Yeah? They called me a good boy? Huh? Oh, my dog? My dog?
This is what I have up in my storage unit. This is a switch dock. Put this switch in here, and you let it sit right here. You connect it to the TV.
So what's the difference between that and this?
That is the GameStop.
Oh, you have your Switch dock up in storage, or your first one? Well, that one's probably the better version anyways for if you're playing with controllers, wireless, because that's like your TV mount stand, right? If you don't have a TV, correct? Like when we're on the road, you're gonna bring that, right?
Just that connects it to the...
That only connects it to the TV.
It does.
Oh, that's what the dock is for? Is only for that reason?
Only for the TV, yeah.
Oh, so we're not going to bring the dock with us, obviously. There's no point. Okay.
Do you want me to set you up an account, let you use my Switch?
Oh, I don't care, babe. If you can figure out how for us to play together, that'd be cool. Whenever, because we're gonna have some times of downtime in the future. At some point.
I mean, my goal was...
The only time I would be playing is either after, like, it won't be long. It'd be like brief. It'll be like, I drive until we have to shut down and go to bed.
My goal was to get you a Steam Deck.
That's super fancy. Why are you telling me you're...
Yes, that's what I wanted to get you.
Well, chill on that before you do any of that. So I want you to understand how this works. I drive until we have to stop. When we stop, what I do is I go get my shower, and when I'm done with my shower, I go to bed. If I'm hungry, I might eat, but usually I eat before.
So the Steam Dock would allow you to play your PC game. Oh.
Not all of them,
Not
but
all of them, but a lot of them, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to play this game. You know that.
No?
No. It's World of Warcraft. I need a crazy good internet connection to play it. And you need like a mouse and a keyboard. I can't do that on a regular controller. These buttons. Look at all these buttons. Those are all keybinds. Every one of them. I have 1 through 7. I have Alt 1 through 7. I have Control 1 through 7. I have F1 through F5. I have Q, W, E, R, T, A, S, D, F, Z, X, C, Alt Z, Alt X, Alt C, scroll up, scroll down, Alt scroll up, Alt scroll down, middle button press, Alt middle button press up and down, Shift middle button press up and down, the mouse button 4 and 5, and all the Alt buttons for that, Alts and Shifts for that. Because you have 50 billion buttons you have to press.
How do you know what to press?
It's muscle memory over time, once you get used to it. It took about 10 years to perfect it. Just gotta have
I
keyboard
get
skills.
overstimulated with fucking,
Pressing...
Smash Bros, man. Kidding me?
You gotta ease your way into it. I was a clicker at first, and then I learned a keybind. So... Anyways, yeah, there's like, I don't know, 100 different keybinds. So,
and downtime. So if we use the car analogy again, this is more of the sports car. Has the fastest leveling from 45 to 60, and also has extremely high PvP potential from 40 to 60. Once you have Elemental Mastery and you have those talents, and you have the fast cast speed of your lightning bolt abilities, and can combo with chain lightning and shocks, you can devastate players and one-shot them pretty easily. Maybe even more easily than Wind Fury, because it's a guaranteed explosive power that you have there, especially if you have critical mastery up. So these are the 3 stereotypes. I think you should really think about what is more important to you. If it's speed, then you know the answer. You level up to around 40 to 45 to an enhancement and you shift elemental. But again, there's a lot of idiosyncrasies here and maybe some hidden potential that may be important to you. So
What?
I think you can charge it from the top, too.
Charge you from the top.
Ah, you can! That's crazy! That's a port for using energy in the top part. That's super cool.
Shit, I want that. With the wax thing? I figured you would do that sometime tonight or tomorrow or something.
You already know you're gonna have them. Yeah, okay.
A what?
You're gonna have a spa day.
I'm gonna have a spa day?
Yep, we're gonna play, nail salon.
You think I'm fucking gay or something? Like, what the fuck?
We're gonna play nail salon.
Suffocation, no breathing, suck on my ass and then come on bleeding.
Look at
We need to go on a diet.
Oh yeah, we can tell him.
On you. You fucking boob.
So really spend some time to think about.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
What? What? You sure?
Positive.
No. That hurt? That felt like that would hurt. That would bother me. Ow. That hurt.
Forgot to give you some
What?
gift cards.
Mm.
There's hella outlets over here. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could have hooked up your. What were you trying to plug up earlier?
These switches.
Oh, dude, yeah, you can plug it up to your. Yeah. Fix that. Yeah, dork. You're a dork.
cool.
Super cool. Super nerd. Super. Is there a mithril over here?
Still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
You turn on the fan, babe. It's hot in here. Babe. Babe. Fan. Babe! Like your ice cream machine?
Different lights. Those are cool.
Mm-hmm. Did you take a picture of it?
Whoa, it reacts to sound. You see that?
Whoa,
That's
I didn't know
super
you know
cool.
that. Oh god. I don't know if that's a good.
What's most important to you when leveling your shaman. So this is essentially our summary slide. There are 3 possible paths you can go in leveling your shaman. You take the speed route, the economy route, or the balanced route. For the speed route, you're going to level up to around 40 to 45 and use primarily two-handed enhancement, and then pay your respec costs around that time to go
I can't
element.
hear you. What? You what?
Can I turn off? Let me show you.
That spell isn't ready.
Elemental. You may think to yourself, man, I don't want to respec that close to 60. Well, you still got about 50% of the way to go. Even though you're level 40 to 45, most of the leveling process and most of the time commitment is going to happen during that time. So you'll be elemental effectively just as long or maybe even longer than you were two-handed enhancement. So it's not something you should worry about. You should definitely put out that money to respec at this level. You can go the economic route and level one-handed shield the whole way and spend very little on water. You could also do that as well. And you can go the more balanced route, and it's the average speed and average gold expenditure. So this will be your two-handed enhancement all the way through. So these are the 3 basic paths. We'll go over some possible ones that may be a little bit more advanced, but these are your 3 basic paths for leveling your shaman. Okay, before we get to talents, let's go over a few caveats. Two-handed enhancement and one-hander plus shield enhancement are actually pretty interchangeable. Their talents are very similar. Just because you're doing the two-handed route doesn't mean you can't pull out your shield and one-hander. You definitely can. And there are times where you may want to shift weapon loadouts due to mob type. Is it normal versus elite? Does a mob have high armor? Maybe you want to use a one-hander and shield and whittle them down. If it has low armor, you want to burst them down with a two-hander. The amount of mobs you're fighting, multiple mobs can be really hairy and tricky, and having a shield can really reduce the amount of damage you're taking. The mob level, you shouldn't be fighting a mob level higher than you with a two-hand. You're going to be taking a lot of damage, so you're going to use a shield in those situations. Your group composition, maybe you need to like kind of off tank or emergency tank. You're going to want to pull that shield out. If you're in a group with a mage and you got to fight a elite or something, or a priest, it's better you're taking the damage than the casters. Pull your shield out for those situations. And finally, PvP. As I said before, there are certain situations where a shield can be beneficial against melee classes like warriors, rogues, and feral druids. So just keep all these things in mind when you're out in the world as an enhancement shaman. Always have a shield and one-hander for any circumstance. Now let's go over talent builds. So the first most common talent build, and this will mirror our fast route up to 60, will be the enhancement into elemental. Pros, fastest leveling, high DPS. Cons is mana inefficient and especially at high levels. We saw that already. So you're gonna fill up your enhancement first. I wouldn't respec at 40. I would probably get Storm Strike, feel it out a little bit, see if you like the enhancement, and then respec around 40 to 41, maybe 42 to elemental. You're gonna fill up all the way to Storm Strike. If you go past 40, just put some points anywhere, and then you're going to respec at some point to elemental. You're going to go all the way down to elemental mastery, and then pick up the extra crit from restoration. Make sure you get the nature's guidance for the hit rating, which is very nice as well. So this is a very common build. I think most of you probably will do this, and this is the fastest way to 60. The next build is enhancement enhancement elemental melee hybrid. So this is your going all the way to Storm Strike. You're primarily using a two-hander, but you're going to fish for spell crits using rank 1 shocks, proccing elemental devastation, which will increase your melee crit by 9%. So whatever you have from agility already or from crit, you're going to increase that and really increase your flurry uptime. So this is going to be a really interesting build. The only thing that's issue with this is that you're losing out on the hit rating from restoration, but you're also not going to have a lot of spell crit. It's going to be great when it happens, when elemental devastation procs, but it's not going to proc often unless you can have a significant amount of spell crit, which is really hard to get early leveling. The only really bases you're going to get from crit from spells is from intellect, and you need a lot of intellect to get spell crit. So this is a potential build. It has the potential to have some really crazy DPS. Again, this is more of a fringe thing. Some of you watching might be really interested in this, so I provided it in here. The next is a one-hander melee hybrid build. Notice this.
Have you seen my black pants? My legging?
The ones you wore last night? I think Mom did laundry. She might have grabbed them. Why? You should be almost done. I have no idea. I'm guessing she went ham on cleaning. I just need a rotation.
This does not get two-handed weapons. This focuses on using a one-hander and shield all the time, and you go deeper into the elemental tree. You can pick up elemental devastation. You don't have to use elemental devastation, guys. Any of these builds I provide you, feel free to move things around. You can take those 3 points and put them elsewhere. But this is a interesting build. It's more of a pure hybrid, and I know Orcbit and Hamster have had a lot of success with this build. They really enjoy it. But it's an interesting build. You're gonna have clear casting. You're gonna have Eye of the Storm, so you can get some no pushback spells, and because of that, you can throw out some chain lightning and lightning bolts. It'll be a lot of fun. And again, feel free to move those 3 points of elemental devastation into Call of Thunder or something that you might want, like the extra crit for your lightning spells. Totally up to you. Next, we have the tried and true enhancement resto build. So this goes all the way down to Storm Strike, and then it goes into restoration to pick up Nature's Guidance for the extra 3% hit, and also some nice healing utility for dungeons. So this is a really good all-around build, high utility, pretty mana efficient, especially with one-hander and shield. The cons is that you're sacrificing potential speed for reliability. So this is a build that I usually use because I really like dungeon healing and I really like having high utility, so it's something you might want to consider. Could be an excellent build for some of you out there. Here we have the pure elemental build.
Really?
This is going elemental all the way from 1 to
fake
60.
titties
You're going to go down to elemental mastery, pick up all the
Why?
relevant talents, increase your crit, reduce your cast time, increase
Like
your crit
everyone knows.
potential, your crit bonus. Then you're going to go into restoration, pick up Nature's Guidance for the 3% hit, extra crit as well from restoration for your lightning spells, and some healing potential. So this is just your standard elemental build. It's going to be super duper slow before level 40, but if you want to level elemental all the way, this is how you're going to do it. The pros is that 40 plus is going to be the fastest leveling speed and the highest DPS. Cons are it's mana inefficient and the slowest leveling is 1 to 40. Finally, we have Cargos' favorite build. Cargos has some really interesting points when it comes to the first and second tier of enhancement. There's really not a lot there. If you notice in all these builds, I did not put any points in ancestral knowledge. It's pretty much hot trash. You don't get a lot of intellect from it. You don't have a lot of bonus intellect. It's a really bad talent for 5 points. I always go shield specialization because having a shield on you and being able to block for more and a higher chance to block is just better than that small increase in base intellect. Cargos' idea is like, why don't you just go into elemental, pick up things that increase your shock and lightning bolt damage, go down to clear casting, pick up some spell crit, and then when you hit around 25 to 29, which is when you would put points in flurry and enhancement, you respec to enhancement, pick up flurry, use that up until 40 or 45, and then go into elemental. Now I want to make sure I say the elemental prior to 25-29 is not a caster elemental. You're going to be
This is a new Mario game?
I got a little too close. After being chased away from
That's
one
you?
of the nests, I got lost. I need to get back to White Reach Post. Motega does not know that I am missing and
You're
will
gonna
be
play without
furious to
me?
know that I ventured into High Perch by myself. White Reach
So
Post
what
is
Mario
just
Kart
east
game
of
is that?
Please take me there.
It's Mario Kart World.
Can you play that on the
Instead of-
Switch one?
You know how the smart steering and the auto accelerate buttons aren't labeled on there? You can't really tell what the fuck those symbols are supposed to mean. You know when you're choosing your cart?
Yeah.
Turn off smart steering. It actually says smart steering on, smart steering off, auto accelerate off, on.
Okay, I have a question. Can you undock those controllers, put them on this thing or your other thing, and then I hook my controller to that and we play off that screen together side by side on the.
So.
Because that would be cool, because then we can do that on the road together. Instead of bringing both switches, we can just bring that one and play side by side. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be playing a lot. You're going to be playing a lot more than me. You're a fat bitch.
I can play as a Goomba mushroom.
You are a Goomba mushroom. That's perfect for you. The Maddie character all day. You're so excited. You're like a little kid. I could be a Goomba mushroom, Dad. Look.
Meleeing, but using the elemental talents to boost your magical damage. So you're not going to be casting spells like a caster for the first 25 levels. You're going to be like a normal melee shaman, but using the benefits from the elemental tree. You're going to respec at 25-29 to pick up Flurry, go down to Storm Strike, or around that time, you're going to respec the elemental to pick up that caster wave, and you're going to be able to really effectively level the fastest. This could potentially be the fastest way to level as a shaman. Cargos knows his stuff about leveling, so I would definitely listen to it, and this could be a great way to really shave off some time if you're really trying to get to 60 quick. Now it's time to talk about rotation. Let's do enhancement first. This is the standard enhancement build. First, as with everything, you're gonna lay down your totems and apply your weapon imbue if it's about to fall off. It's very important that your weapon imbue does not fall off at any point during your adventure to 60. That's your AFK. Next, you're gonna apply Lightning Shield. Lightning Shield is kind of interesting. You wanna reapply it immediately after killing the last mob so you can regen while traveling. In most scenarios, you're gonna kill a mob and you're gonna have to travel some distance to the next mob. If you immediately put Lightning Shield up, it guarantees that as soon as you leave the 5-second rule, you'll start regenning mana. And that's important because the more mana you regen, the more free, quote unquote, that Lightning Shield cast just became. However, if you didn't do that and you're applying the Lightning Shield right before you're about to engage the mob, that's totally fine too. As long as you're doing it either before you're doing damage or immediately after taking damage. Don't be running in the middle of the field and then putting it on, interrupting your mana regen. If you want, you can also Flame Shock in the beginning of the pull. However, remember, if you continually Flame Shock and Lightning Shield, you will run out of mana pretty quickly. Lightning Shield is a higher HPMA, especially since you have the improved Lightning Shield talents.
Is it better graphics?
Oh, hell yeah. Right off rip, absolutely. They used to drifting, that was just weird.
Different? Oh, what the hell?
Like,
yeah, just watch.
yeah, weird.
Well met.
Okay, so I guess you don't have to put much emphasis on it. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, fuck me, I'm good.
Ah, bitch. Interesting. You hold the button.
Interesting! Sound like a nerd.
Hold the button like you're drifting, but you don't really have to move the joystick.
Intriguing!
Like auto drifts.
Oh, plays the game for you?
Let's still recharging.
Damn, how many people were there?
So I don't think that game is available on the Switch one.
No, unfortunately, this is only a Switch 2.
So that is the newest Mario Kart game then.
So it kind of auto drifts for you, but I mean, getting chased after my own kind. Motherfucker.
Which I highly recommend getting because it has a higher HPME than Flame Shock, but you can Flame Shock if you want to create even more additional damage. I highly recommend pulling the mob with Sure AFK. Next, you're going to apply Lightning Shield. Lightning Shield is kind of interesting. You want to reapply immediately after killing the last mob, so you can regen while traveling. In most scenarios, you're going to kill a mob, and you're going to have to travel some distance to the next mob. If you immediately put Lightning Shield up, it guarantees that as soon as you leave the 5-second rule, you'll start regenning mana. And that's important because the more mana you regen, the more free, quote unquote, that Lightning Shield cast just became. However, if you didn't do that and you're applying Lightning Shield right before you're about to engage the mob, that's totally fine too. As long as you're doing it either before you're doing damage or immediately after taking damage. Don't be running in the middle of the field and then putting it on, interrupting your mana regen. If you want, you can also Flame Shock in the beginning of the pull. However, remember, if you continually Flame Shock and Lightning Shield, you will run out of mana pretty quickly. Lightning Shield is a higher HPME, especially since you have the improved Lightning Shield talents, which I highly recommend getting because it has a higher HPME than Flame Shock, but you can Flame Shock if you want to create even more additional damage. I highly recommend pulling the mob with you regen, the more free, quote unquote, that Lightning Shield cast just became. However, if you didn't do that and you're applying Lightning Shield right before you're about to engage the mob, that's totally fine too. As long as you're doing it either before you're doing damage or immediately after taking damage. Don't be running in the middle of the field and then putting it on, interrupting your mana regen. If you want, you can also Flame Shock in the beginning of the pull. However, remember, if you continually Flame Shock and Lightning Shield, you will run out of mana pretty quickly. Lightning Shield is a higher HPME, especially since you have the improved Lightning Shield talents, which I highly recommend getting because it has a higher HPME than Flame Shock, but you can Flame Shock if you want to create even more additional damage. I highly recommend pulling the mob with rank 1 Lightning Bolt. Very cost effective, also very quick cast. So if you want to just pull them really quick, it costs almost nothing, especially if you're high level, and you're going to be saving mana in that regard. Next, no surprise here, you're going to begin white hitting and you're going to Forge/Pray for Flurry and or Wind Fury procs, depending if you're using Wind Fury weapon. Flurry procs are your bread and butter. You want to keep them up as much as possible. It's one of the few mechanics of haste in Vanilla WoW, and Shaman have it. So if you can increase your haste, do it. It's a huge bonus to your DPS and your leveling speed, really. Storm Strike, you're going to use immediately after your first auto attack. Couple reasons why. If you're using Wind Fury, a Storm Strike Wind Fury proc resets your swing timer. So if you swing and then use Storm Strike, you want to minimize the amount of DPS lost due to a swing timer reset. Second reason why, you want to front load all your damage in the beginning of the pull so you can regen through the rest of the pull. You don't want to be casting anything after the initial burst in the beginning called.
You keep talking to me when I have my headphones on. What?
Game I said you did.
I want to play with you. Can you sit up on the TV? What the fuck? I want to play. Play.
That smell is ready.
Think I got that for you, bitch? I got that for me. I want to play. You're having fun without me. Wah. 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 I want to play. Wah. Wah. Wah.
Yeah, I think I've started hearing on that's why.
Interesting. Interesting.
If you hold down the right trigger, it'll like. How do you hold down the right trigger?
Is that so? I would.
Like you're drifting, it'll give you an excel. That's super cool.
Super cool. I wish I could experience that, but some Bitch, it's fucking playing without me. Yeah, fuck that hoe.
No.
Oh, you said it.
It's too far away.
Yeah, you whack ass bitch.
What the shit nuggets, dude? Oh no. Why did it do that?
Tricks off like the banisters and stuff and like the railroad track. Dude's cool. You can get excellent.
Dude's cool.
Dude's cool. Oh.
Oh, was that not the fucking... Do I not have that quest? Bruh.
Oh, you bitch, literally right as soon as I was up at... Mother.
Third, you suck. Goomba bitch. Can you plug it up to the TV so I can play?
One more race to do, minions.
Can you? Oh, you need to see if you can put Smash Brothers on there and stuff.
Yeah, it's already downloaded.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Everything that I had on my old Switch was put on there. I just can't do new Switch, old Switch. Freaking Donkey Kong. He pays for it.
Charging.
Yeah, you know. I whacked your shit, man.
I can't pass that yet.
Down the right joystick to drift, and then you slightly touch.
Charging. That sun isn't ready yet.
Mechanical.
You're a mechanical Donkey Kong. You are the Donkey Kong. You're the whole damn thing and some.
You motherfucker.
Front loading. Put everything you got out right there on the front, regen everything during combat time. That's why you're going to Storm Strike after your first auto attack, immediately after it. If you reach full mana, which doesn't happen often, but if you do, max rank Earth Shock or Frost Shock, whichever one is doing more damage at that time. Depending on the rank you have, Earth Shock and Frost Shock go back and forth in their total damage, so use the one that does the most damage. Now let's go over the slightly different hybrid melee rotation. As with before, lay down your totems and apply your weapon imbue. Apply Lightning Shield either immediately before or immediately after combat, and you can put Flame Shock up if you wish for maximum damage. If not, you're going to pull with max rank Lightning Bolt, because you have more of the lightning talents here in this build, so you're going to be producing more damage with your lightning bolts, and you're going to be fishing for crits, so you might as well use something more powerful. Then when the mob reaches you, you're going to begin white hitting, and you're going to also pray for Flurry and or Wind Fury procs depending on what weapon you have. Now the big difference here is you won't regen a lot of mana, because every time Shock's off cooldown, you're going to use a Shock to fish for a spell crit. Now the most mana efficient way to do this is to use a rank 1 Earth Shock. It's the cheapest Shock in the game, but if you want to maximize damage, you can use higher ranks, but what you're trying to do is crit, and if you do crit, you'll proc Elemental Devastation, which will increase your chances of proccing Flurry, and synergistically, you'll be using Spell Crit to increase your melee crit. Now let's go over the enhancement and hybrid totem priorities. From levels 5 to 9, you don't have an option. You're going to be using a Stone Skin totem. From levels 10 to 42, however, you have more totems at your disposal. At level 10, you'll get Fire Totem, and you're going to use Searing Totem most of the time unless you're fighting multiple mobs. Searing Totem's a great overall increase in DPS. I would use it on every pull. Now, Strength of Earth Totem is a great totem. I would recommend using it most of the time. The only time you will not be using it is if you know you're going to be traveling often. Strength of Earth lasts for 2 minutes. Putting it down to kill one mob and then moving to another mob is really not mana efficient at all. I know it increases.
There's 24? Holy shit.
You can free roam on here.
Okay, are we gonna play together or what?
Doing around. You're yelling at me.
Guys, I've been yelling at you. You don't want to play with me. I don't want to play. You don't want to play with me.
Well, I need to figure out how to...
We can't figure it out together? What the fuck?
I need to figure out how to do it.
Can't figure it out together?
I need you to plug this into the bottom.
You're a bottom. You're a bottom hoe.
Grab this.
Hold on, I'm in the middle of the game.
Oh, I thought you wanted to play.
I do. I just want you to do everything. Let me get safe. I can't pause my game, okay? Where do you need me to plug it at? Down there?
Mm-hmm. Come on, old man. Got it. Your shit first. Yeah, it's plugged in right there. I think I might need to actually get my dog. Hi. I'm not sure if I will.
Fucking feathers everywhere down there.
Your face is a feather.
Ah! I'm dying! God damn it, Madeline! Motherfuck! That's so annoying! I just fucking killed everything in that area.
Do it.
Fucking bullshit, man.
I didn't do it.
Your fault.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Actually.
No.
We need to leave in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
If you want to go, of course.
Okay, we're gonna unplug this controller and see if we can do it. plugged in here. HDMI out.
I can't do that yet. I can't cast that.
That damn thing.
That's coming with us, by the way.
Figured.
Okay. Switch them.
Hold up.
Go. Go.
I want the regular controller. Yeah, but I don't like that one.
Okay.
I want the one you.
I know. We're gonna see if we can. How I think we can.
Wait, really?
Totally just missed my mouth.
Is it on? Oops. No. Come on, you piece of shit! I'm gonna die, so I'm just gonna fucking log off, because if I don't, I'm dead. And I'm also streaming. I can't. Really? I can't?
Then switch it back. Hey, switch back.
Alright.